Hey there everyone, this is MysticFish and welcome to episode 19 of our Factorio Space Age playthrough, where we are building one main factory ship, the General Systems Vehicle. Last episode we got the trunk packed here with all the things that we're going to need to get to Gleba. However, the ship is not ready to get to Gleba. We're going to need to extend it in various ways. So, what do we need to do? Well, we need to get some thruster stuff going, and we also need to get some defenses for the medium asteroids we're going to encounter on the way to Gleba. And along the way, I think we'll make some other updates to the ship as we go. But first, let's figure out what defenses are going to look like. So, I think that we can squeeze a couple of turrets in this segment where they sort of are even with the edges of the grid that they're attached to. And then I think we can also get a loop going here. Like so. Let's see, we are going to need space platform in there, and I think, well, we're gonna need to connect these. We have to, all right, which means we have to connect these and these and these and this. Okay, let's see. Well, the idea I think here is we want to buffer up some ammo on this belt. So that we have a little bit of leeway. You know, it's a little unpredictable exactly how quickly we can get ammo through on the belt. You know, we kind of have to rely on sort of percentages on the belt to figure out how fast things are coming. So having a little bit of buffer here, I think, will be helpful. Let's see. Now, that means, I think, that we're going to want an inserter to pull the ammo and put it on here. Now, I think the way this works is on something like this, the inserter will only put things on the inside of this loop where we have this here. So I think we will also want something that will put things on the outside. And so output priority right. So we're going to turn this inserter so it puts things on the belt. And then we're going to, that'll put it on the inside. This will put things on the outside. And so then the question is, how much space do we have here? This is 6 belts, which means we sort of have 12 total space on the belt here. And we will include this one here. But we want to subtract what might be under here. I think it's actually okay. So I think what we do, remember we're saying 6 objects per belt tile. So I think what we can do is we can take a look at what's on these belts, both of these. And then, let's see, I think we have to move this one up here. And then I think what we want is, we're going to assume that we want 96 total on the belt here. So of ammo, that's how much we want to buffer. Or that's sort of how much room we have on the belt here. So I think we're going to say 96 minus yellow ammo. And that will be the amount of ammo we're missing. And I think that will go onto the demand wire. And then is that all we need? This will become eventually negative, 0 or negative when we don't have it. So that means I think we can actually do this. We can put this back. That'll save us a space platform tile. And then from here, we can go green wire into here. And then we can say set filters. Because once we get to 96 or we end up with more than 96, this will be 0 or negative, and that will remove the filter and we'll stop putting stuff on the belt. So I think we can do that. And then I think we put this onto the request wire. And that should begin requesting. Do we now have a demand? We now have a demand for yellow ammo. Okay, good. I think that's going to work. And we have to now, we're going to have to store this stuff up here. So let's grab this. And we're going to need several copies of it. And here. And here. Obviously, we need it along the front of the ship. Let's see. I think we're all, I also want to get defenses around the entire perimeter of the ship. Because when we're stationary in orbit, say around Gleba, which we will be, there will be asteroids that may be showing up there. And so we want to be able to defend ourselves. Plus, when we, these guys around the sides and the back are not going to do much while we're flying. But when we're parked in orbit, they will, because asteroids can sort of come from any side when we're parked in orbit. And we do have collectors around the sides. And so while we're in orbit, being able to, I have a general principle, which is if you're going to shoot it, if you're going to shoot an asteroid, you should be able to collect from it. So that's why we have collectors around the sides and back here. Now, let's see. We're going to need to fill in some things so we don't have holes. This one doesn't have any missing. That's okay. This one. These are okay. This one. Okay. Good. All right. Well, we're starting to get some ammo in here, which is good stuff. Okay. The ship is, I think, going to be busy building some of that stuff for a little while. And, just an interesting side note, when the ship is actively building stuff and we have belt demand, it puts stuff out here on the belts. You may have noticed when we first started, we were a little crunched on space here. And that's because we have this circuit that burns down the requests when we don't have anything on the belt. I think we don't need it. And that's primarily so that when we have to ship something in from Novice, like this, that when we get it in, it triggers, like, one shipment ought to be enough to push us to demand 1, meaning having enough of it. So we do need to see that the low water mark, and the demand can get higher here, right? So we do need a way to drop the belt demand below the sort of lowest low water mark. So we kind of need that while we still have to ship stuff in. Unfortunately, that means when we don't build anything, we try to cram everything into the hub. So far, I don't think that's an issue, but we'll have to see. Eventually we'll be wanting to upgrade things quality-wise. Once we get some quality cargo bays, we'll be able to help that situation some. Okay, so we're going to make all of that stuff, and that's going to take a little bit. So next, All right, we need to work out propulsion systems. This is a little tricky. I did some pre-work to sort of assess this out. And so let's see. So there's a couple things. We don't need to go very fast as long as we can maintain forward propulsion and we can sort of, which is really about, can I collect enough stuff and produce enough fuel and ammo to keep up with my speed? And so the thing that I found that eventually worked, we are going to need, I think, we're going to need more chem plants. And so I think we can just do that pretty easily by grabbing this and flipping it to here. We will then need to move this one down, and we need a way to connect this belt over, or pipe over. Let's see. We need to be able to get the recipes over here to this guy. This needs to be reversed. And we need a way to get the fluid ingredients back out over here, which can be done by doing this to here. Okay, so that gets us some additional chem plant sort of stuff. Okay, now we have, all right, so the other thing that I realized is in order to make forward momentum, we kind of need to really fairly rapidly iterate between water and thruster fuel and thruster oxidizer. So actually the low water mark here of 20K is actually, I think, too big. So I think we can take that off. And so we'll hover around sort of 1,000 for these and for the water. And hopefully we can work out the circuits that allow for that. Okay, now we need a couple of extra signals here. We want to read where we're moving from and to and the speed. And we're going to bring this stuff down over here. We will come down the row of cargo bays, and then we will need to come over because we'll need those signals. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we are going to need to control the rate at which we inject thruster fuel and thruster oxidizer into the thrusters. So I think we need to do this. And I think we need to do this. Okay, and now let's talk about the control of those things. All right, the first thing is going to be, do we need any thrust at all? Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to say, so you notice now that we have read from and read to, we're parked at novice. And so the way that that is signaled is that we are both coming from and going to novice. So if you're going to a planet, you get the planet signal with a value of 2. If you're coming from a planet, you get a planet signal with a value of 1. And if you're parked at a planet, you get both, and so you get a 3. So the question is, when do we want thrust? And I'm going to simplify this for a minute. But basically, it is we have to be in transit. So in order to be in transit, we need two things to be true. One is that means some planet has to have a value of 1 because it's either the sort of origin or it's the destination. So what we can say is if we have a planet that's 1, and so far we can just do it with Gleba. We'll extend this later, but we don't need to do that right now. Or we're going to shoot for going 25 kilometers per second. So if we are in transit between a planet and our speed is less than 25, then we want to apply our thrusters. Okay, so that's the first control signal. Now, second control signal is about when do we want these two pumps to operate. And so they are going to want to know, we need a little more logic here. So we have a decider combinator for each one. So they're going to want to know, do we want to apply thrusters at all? Because if we don't, then the pump should not operate. We should not put stuff in. And then the other thing that we need to know how much is in these tanks. And so I think we want to do that by grabbing all the tanks and their actual contents. So not the demand, but the actual contents. And those will also be inputs to these. Okay, now the low water mark is now 1,000 units here. So there's kind of two options here. One option is that we would like to apply thrust. And in this case, this is the oxidizer one. And so if we have more than the low water mark worth of oxidizer on the green wire, that's not right. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to say explicitly 1,000 units. Then it is okay to inject the oxidizer. The other thing is we want thrusters, and we have more oxidizer than thruster fuel. And this is going to be necessary because we kind of want the amount that we have in the tanks to remain relatively balanced between these two fluids, because that'll give us the best fuel efficiency. And so these pumps are going to need to try to balance things. So, if we're above the high water mark, fine. We can go ahead and, we can use it. It's fine. We have enough. But if we're below that, the fuel efficiency, you can run on very small amounts. But the main thing is we're going to need to sort of trigger. We want to use them at the same rate is, I guess, what I want to say. And hopefully we can stabilize it so that we do the recipe switching on the chem plants and it will catch up. So that's the idea. Okay, now over here we do similar things, right? We say there is a need for thrust, and we have above the low water mark, or we want thrust, and we have greater than or equal to this. It's important to pick one of these to prioritize. If we're below 1,000 on both, only one of these should be active at a time, and that guarantees that we can be equalized. But If we also want at least one of them to be to be active if we can. So this one gets a greater than or equal to. This one gets a less than or a greater than, and so that way only one of these two will be active at a time below 1,000. And then we say, if these are true, then we say, give me some fuel. And so then this comes in like this, and we say, you're enabled if there is a call for fuel. And we get a red wire in here, and we say, you are enabled if there is a call for oxidizer. Okay, that's a 1. That's a 1. Okay. Now, the next thing, we have to update the way this recipe selector works for the chem plants. So in particular, when we're in the way, remember, the way these generally work are, once you hit the low water mark, you're going to try to keep going until you hit the high water mark. But we kind of need to do something different for water and thruster fuel and thruster oxidizers, because we're going to draw down on them relatively quickly, and we can't wait to just save up that amount. Like, these are really probably, I think, mostly going to hover around the low water marks while we're running. So what we have to do is we have to add a couple more clauses here. So the first one is, we need the ice melting. Where's the ice melting? Ice melting should be a thing with ice in it, right? Here's the ice melting. Okay, so we want to start when we're below the low water mark of water. That's clear. And this would generally be fine. Keep going until you hit the high water mark, unless we've gotten to the point where we have a demand of 1 for water, but one of these has fallen below its low water mark, and we have a higher demand for it. So what we want to do is add this to the water guy. Where is it? Up here. Come on. All right, we gotta get this thing up here. Our blank, here it is. So the continuation, we also only want to continue as long as this is greater than or equal to thruster fuel. So as soon as this is 1 and this is 2, we want to stop. And then we need another one for the oxidizer. All right, let's get this up here. This one, okay? So continue doing this only as long as my demand exceeds the demand for oxidizer. Okay, that means as long as we've hit the low water mark on water, if one of these below will switch, which is I think what we want. And then we need to do similar things now to keep the oxidizer and so let's do fuel first. That's further up here. Here's the fuel. So we want to continue making fuel as long as its demand is greater than or equal to that one. All right, as soon as this is at 1 and this hits 2, we should stop. And then similarly for the oxidizer, this guy, I think this has to be, I think we're prioritizing the thruster fuel everywhere. So as soon as the demand falls from 2 to 1, no, I guess it can be, I guess it's greater than or equal to. I guess that's fine too. That's fine too. Because the priorities will take care of it. Okay. I think that's what we need. Now, we obviously have some more work to do here. We do have turret stuff. Do we have thruster stuff? We do not have thruster stuff being built. So we also want, oh no, we must have it somewhere. Oh yeah, we do have a thruster built. Okay, so let's figure out then how is this going to get wired in. And I think the easiest way to do this will be as follows. I think we can nest this guy here. You can hop down to here. And then you come across there. Okay, good. But I think we actually want 5 thrusters because that will spread the thruster fluids out across multiple thrusters, and that will encourage fuel economy. I think the easiest way to connect these over here is going to look like this. And then down here, I guess. How far out does this reach? I guess we want to come back up. Okay, that means we need a platform here. Okay. And then we're going to do one more, and it's going to be a little janky. It's not going to be symmetric. It's going to bother some of you, I know. But it is going to be okay. It fits with the sort of organic, asymmetric aesthetics of the ship here. But that's where we get 5. Generally speaking, fuel efficiency is sort of maximized when these are 20% full. So if we have 5, it just means we're sort of maximizing fuel efficiency, I think. So, okay, this, I think we're gonna let this run until all this stuff comes in and until we have saved up enough stuff on. All right, so we've got 96 on this belt. We've got 96 on this belt, hopefully. Yes. Good. Filters are off. Okay, good. The belts are turning. Okay, excellent. So this one will probably start coming in soon. All right. All right, we're going to let this come in, and then we'll be back. So stay tuned. Okay, we are back. I remembered one more thing I wanted to do while we were building stuff here. And first off, a couple of things I did. While these little belt buffers are being built, I disconnected the demand for them because we were just getting drowned in requests for ammo. And that just seemed excessive. It was drowning out our ability to make anything else due to the belt demand. Now, legitimately, when we're out in space, we do want to drown out belt demand with ammo if we need to get ammo up there. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. It could be that we want lower belt demands. I don't know. But we need to turn that off. But I remember the other thing that I want to do is I want to redesign these so that they just use fast inserters because then we can upgrade them. So We're gonna clip most of this stuff out. We have a copy of that elsewhere, right? Because we have this copy here. Okay, so this is going to look like this, with output there, output, input, input. Good. We're going to go output. This time we'll do output this way. So outputs are before inputs, just in case. Well, I guess we won't switch recipes that fast. That, I don't know. But just in general, because some machines can sort of take in what they're producing, I think it's just a good, I don't know, practice for us to have. Is output inserters should sort of belt proceed. Okay, now this guy can go here. All right, so output inserters precede input inserters. Nope. This is weird. I did this wrong. Okay. Okay. Output inserters, output, input, input. Okay, very good. Now, what do we need next? We need recipe latches. Those are these guys. Okay. Good. We need... For each one, we need the done signal filter. Yep. And we need the demand filter. Okay. All right, so recipe is going to be set like this. Okay, and then we're going to read these guys. The ingredients and the done signal. The done signal goes into the recipe latch. And the ingredient requests go into the request network. Good. And then I think all we have left are the recipes, right? So we can get recipes there. We copy this guy. Recipes coming in here on red. Global demand comes in here on green. This is not selecting anything, but we do have, okay, I guess we don't have demands for any stuff, okay. And then these go into there. Maybe I don't want to connect it that way. Maybe I want to just connect directly. Okay. All right, nobody's assembling anything, so I think that's okay. All right, so what do we have demand for? We do have demand for some things. Okay. It's fine. We do not have the water barrels because we're not shipping those up anymore because we're preserving our rockets for copper and oil from Novice. Oh, which we're about to ship up some. Oh, you're missing one copper plate. Where's the guy bringing us the one copper plate? Is he like stuck up here somehow? No? Well, it must be one of those guys. Must have been assigned to bring a copper plate. So, okay. So that, all right, that's good. So we're waiting on copper in order to be able to make what? What do we have a demand of 2 on? I guess we should be, oh, I guess we're actively making iron and steel. So that's okay. That we want to have happen. Okay. All right. All right. I think now we can let this complete itself. So now we'll be back. All right, we got all of that stuff built. And let's see. One more thing. And by the way, yes, I did realize that I forgot to set all of this stuff on all of these inserters up here, but I did fix it. I also realized that I had cut this combinator with the recipe numbers on it out of this one, and so that broke this one as well. But I did figure that out, and now all 3 assembly bays are using the fast inserter version of things. We've got things built here. But I think there's one more thing that I want to do, which is I think we're going to want to build a priority system here. So I think we take these off of here. And I think we put the recipe selector here. We take our same recipes here. This can double as priorities. I think I'm going to rename this everywhere assembly machine recipes. So I'll take the landmines off. And if I come down here for these guys, I did actually put the priority system in for these guys. Where is this? This is what I want. Then I can, oh, I want to take, I want this to actually become this thing. And then I'll put the mines back on. Mines are 1. We're going to take these off and put them back on as 27 up here. And then what we can do up here is we took mines off here, but I think what we will say is this will be recipe number 1, and we can have mines be 27, so we'll just have those swap places. That should be good. Then what we do is we say each red times each green, output each. Then we go from here into here. Then we say sort ascending. And then this takes the highest priority guy. Okay, that looks good. Then we copy, paste, and where's the guy for this guy? Paste. And then we copy this. Put it there, copy this, Put it there, put it there. Let's see, this gets green. Let's see, we gotta disconnect this stuff. Green goes in there, red goes in there, green goes in here, and then green goes to each of these. Okay, and then we need to do the same thing here. So disconnect these greens. Green into here, red into here, green into here, and then green into each of these. Okay. Great. I think that means, and by the way, that's just so we can prioritize producing yellow ammo if we need it. So I say we try to fly somewhere. I guess we have stuff on the way. Stuff's on the way. I guess stuff's on the way. Okay, we need, how much is in here? Oh, you have no room to send stuff, so we need to like get rid of some stuff. Here, have some iron plates. That should let you blast off here. Good. And then I think as soon as that copper comes in, we can try going to Gleba. I think I want to fly there and back yet before I actually get on. Let's just make sure that we can do that successfully. It's always a good idea. Let's see. Let's get this copper in here. Did it land? No, it's still on the way. There it is. All right, let's give it a save. Always a good idea just to give a save before you take a ship somewhere. Oh, this all exploded. Full of stuff. Interesting. Okay, here. Get rid of that stuff. Okay, good. It picked all that stuff up. Okay, fine. Good. Let's try go to Gleba and then come back to Novice. Are we going? We are not going. Oh, because I haven't started. Okay, now we're going. Okay, now something's happening. Okay, this is... Well, it still thinks we're entirely at Novice. Interesting. Interesting. I see, because these are not loaded with any stuff. Oh wait, we gotta go deal with these guys first. All right, we got stuff going on up here, down here. All right, let's get these guys out of the way. Snipe them from behind the mines. Thank you. Okay, duck behind these mines. All right, these guys are still shooting my bots. Quit shooting my bots. Take that. All right, I think now I'm in good shape to finish this. Good. All right, good. Okay. Oh, there's more stuff happening. All right, let's get the repairs. See, this is why I was nervous about leaving. We got stuff down southwest of oil. We'll let these guys move in here. All right, good. Here, come up, visit these mines here. A little flame on you. I'm not aiming very well. I'm aiming well enough, I guess. All right, good. Get off of me. Here, come visit these mines. Come visit these mines. Come visit these. Come on. All right, there we go. Okay, good. All right, I do kind of wonder if I want to get personal Roboport into the tank so it can pack its own repair packs and stuff. Because we do have to sort of, in the absence of having research logistics network, we have to kind of do the reload stuff by hand. All right, let's go somewhere more interior-like. All right, now let's figure out what to do about this thing up here. The problem is I don't have enough to leave. Which I guess I could do. I guess I could just do this, or be less than 25. And that'll be enough to like start pumping stuff in, I think. Is that enough to get me out of here? It like isn't. Why not? How much do you have in here? You both have plenty. So I've got the thruster. That's right. This says thruster is greater than 0. This should be going. Oh, because I didn't do this right. Oh. Okay. I suspect I didn't even need that. Okay, now we're moving. All right, good. All right, let's see how we go. Now our speed control should kick in. And we should hopefully stay closer down to 25 kilometers per second. Although there's still a lot of oxidizer in here. All right, well, I guess we'll burn through that stuff. That's fine. Let's hopefully make sure that none of the medium asteroids come to get us. Now, the nice thing about beginning to travel through space is that we're going to get a lot more asteroid chunks, which will be nice, especially for oxide chunks, which are hard to come by just sitting in orbit. We had enough, so it was all right, but whoa! Wow, we're really... Oh, we need to do some damage upgrades, I think. Wow. Wow. Okay, yeah, we need damage upgrades. Which means, I guess what I want to do is come back here. I think that means I want to... This is the guy that's asking for stuff. Right, you're going to come in here, and we're going to turn on two red science and 2 green science. And we're going to get some damage upgrades. And then these 2. All right. Woo! It's a good thing we're going slow. So I guess now that we mention it, like, so this is another thing that I decided was I think I'm going to be okay not... Oh. Uh-oh. This is going to hit. Oh, hurry up. I think go back. Go back. We were not ready. Hopefully we'll make it back. Wow. Do I have any repair packs? I probably need repair packs on board. Give me 50 repair packs. Go. Can you make them? Maybe if you weren't short on ammo. Wow, this is scary. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh, lost a collector. Wow, this guy's totally out of ammo over here. Wow, okay, that was not good. We did not have the damage upgrades necessary to make this trip. Will we be able to limp back to novice is the question. Oh, this is going. Do I want this to be going? I don't think I want this to be going. Or if I do, I actually want... Hold on. I want to make sure that I have my 2,000 of each thing that I sent up here. That was the whole point. Oh my gosh. Okay, 2,000 of this in the mall. 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 Guess it's not super awful. All right. Oh, this damage is back on novice. Nope, it's up here. Yikes, ouch. All right, do I have a demand for repair packs now? I do, okay. All right, are we free and clear? Nope, there's another medium one right here. Okay, good to know. All right, I think we'll be better after we get... I think this is actually okay to be in... Let's see, I think this is okay. Because it's just going to use red. And we will be able to store up red ones in here if we catch any. Yeah, see, like we are storing them back up. And we didn't use any greens. Okay, that's fine. All right, are we also researching here? Good. All right. Woof. What's the demand coming in here? Yeah, there's a lot of demand for but what's coming out of here? All right. Yeah, okay, you're selecting the ammo. Okay, that's right. Oh, I must have been short on iron plates. Okay, interesting. All right. Well, we got a damage upgrade in there. That's going to help, but I think we want to do 2 damage upgrades. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna whoops. I'm going to take this off of the demand. I'm going to take this off here, and I'm not going to use any more. I'll make some red science just to replenish my stocks, but I guess other research will happen down here. All right, I guess we're gonna chew through that research and then maybe give it another try. We'll be back. Okay, I decided that I would actually go ahead and do projectile damage up through number 4, level 4. I haven't done all the speed upgrades. On the shooting speed, those might be reasonable to queue up though. So we'll do that, but I think we're ready to try to take this for another spin. There's a couple updates I also made in the meantime. One is I put target priorities on the gun turrets that were towards the front of the ship to have them focus on the medium asteroids. The small asteroids don't do nearly as much damage when they hit the platform, so I'd rather, we can hopefully largely clean them up, but I'd rather have these focus on the ones that will do a lot of damage. I also put just a handful of walls along the way. We'll see if that sort of works out. And then the other update that I made was here on our thruster control, or that I want to make. I think that we should just stick to going 15 kilometers per second. If we go slower, the rate of asteroids we'll encounter will be lower, and it will give more time for us to produce ammo and get it to all of the turrets that need it. In particular, and this is sort of a downfall of our grid belt system. Oh, whoa. It appears, do we have to worry about this? I don't think I need to worry about this. That's fine. Those are all fine. Let's see. What was I saying? So one of the downfalls of the grid belt system is very much that if you see the density of stuff coming through here on this belt in particular, it's fairly low compared to what we're seeing over here. And in fact, you can see some of these are sort of backing up a little bit. The hub is full, which is, I didn't want to do that. Let's just clear some stuff out of here. Anyway, because the only way to get down over here is sort of like traversing this way, it's very difficult as we're sort of modifying how much stuff is on the belts to make that work properly. So it just means that we need to make sure that the demand for ammo is less, which we'll do by, or the rate of ammo demand is less, which the damage upgrade should help with. And then correspondingly, we'll be able to make and whatever bandwidth of yellow ammo we can get over here, hopefully we'll be able to keep up. So I think we are ready to give this another shot. And let's just go to Gleba. Okay, we're moving. We've already seen, hopefully, that the speed controls work and that the thruster fuel stuff works. So I think what we'll do is we will, this is going to take, if we go 15 kilometers per second, this will take 1,000 seconds to get there, assuming that we even get up to speed, which is, you know, what is that? Not quite 20 minutes. So I'm thinking we're going to just like speed up the video here, and we'll watch this in time lapse and we'll see if we make it. So stay tuned. Well, as you can see, we made it. We made it to Gleba, which is awesome. We did run out of ammo over here. Now, looking at the ammo belts on the adjacent pairs of turrets, those are full. So this is, you know, partially this guy can only get ammo if this one's passing it up. That's just, I think, an artifact of the particular direction the belts are rotating. However, we didn't take any damage while we went, so that's okay. And I did check this gun turret and this gun turret, which both had full ammo. They did overlap the area that's in front here. And so we were able to get here and survive, and I think that's okay. We're gonna, I think, sit here for a little bit. We can't go to Gleba because I didn't get on the ship myself, but that's a pretty big success that we were able to make at least a one-way trip. And I think if we stay here in orbit a little bit, we should be able to generate enough ammo to refill this guy and return back. But we'll leave that as a problem for future MysticFish. But we did, I think, manage to actually take our ship somewhere. So that's pretty, without destroying it, which is pretty exciting. So anyway, I think that's what we have for today. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And until then, bye.